Okay, hi scrapbookers, it's Katie Scott and it's been a while. I have been making some scrapbook videos, but not as like guns blazing as I was in the beginning of the year. And so I just wanted to check in and say hi and answer some comments and tell you what I've been up to, and yeah, that. And I complain about my wrinkles. Yes. Okay, so the first one is from Cassie Everyday Life. Hi Katie, I enjoyed watching and listening to your videos while I scrap. Yay! You're a hoot. Thank you. And I'm glad somebody thinks I'm funny, because my family doesn't. They're like, you're not funny. I think I'm funny. I do the nervous laugh too. Yeah, that's a coping mechanism, I know. Anyways, to answer your questions while you scrap, my son asked me, who are you talking to? Also, and yeah, I try to convince my friends, like, I really do have friends. I just don't, well, I go out, I mean, yeah, I don't make time for real life friends, like I should, although I did go to, Chelsea Handler a couple of weeks ago, and I went with girlfriends, so that was fun, and I really, like, I made a mental note, like, I should do more of that. Yeah, I should. And I went down to Whimsidoodle on National Scrapbook Day, and there was like 30 ladies down there, and a couple of the girls, Kelly is one of them, she's always like, come, why don't you, come scrap with us? And I'm always like, I'm too busy. And I am and I'm not. I should, one of the things I would like to do is not only get, so I need to get into the schedule, I need to get off of the schedule, 6th grade math homework, first of all, but that's going to come up, we're almost done with 6th grade, hopefully we pass. Yeah, I haven't been making time for exercise. I haven't been making time for daily scrapbooking like I usually do, and I haven't been making time for like real life female friendships. And so those are all things that I think are important to daily care of yourself, and I need to get all that back on the schedule. Because I think you are more creative, and I also need to be learning something new. So a lot of those, and become more successful in my weight loss journey. So I made a goal of losing 50 pounds, and I've lost like 5, and I feel like it's very, very slow. But I haven't been exercising, so that's part of it. Yeah, blah. The daily struggles of a 43-year-old. Okay, okay, so who are you talking to? Yeah, your fake internet friends. They're not fake. We're actually real. So she says, I also have a request. If possible, could you relocate your camera? We see your page upside down. Oh, because I probably didn't edit it. So this is my tripod right here, and this is where I scrapbook, right there on that desk, and ta-da. So what I do is I have an attachment on my iPhone, or my iPad, that hooks into this, that thing, and so it kind of like arcs over it, and look at how meaty my arms are. I come from a family of people with meaty arms. It's genetic, but I could lose some weight, I know. But anyways, so the camera comes over, and it kind of goes on this arm, and then it like sits here, and so it films upside down, but then in YouTube I can flip it right side up. So I think there was a couple of videos recently where I didn't do that, so I'll go back and do that. That's usually simple enough. Another thing, I've just had a host of problems with my computer here in my scrapbooking room, and so just looking at if I move over here, I can see how much time I've been talking. But yeah, I've just had a lot of technical problems lately, but I'll flip those. If you ever see that I have a video and it's upside down, you can just leave a comment or something and say like, oops, you forgot to flip that one up. And sometimes it's just a matter of, like, if I just posted it it takes a little while sometimes, but if it's been up for a while and it's still upside down, I probably just forgot. So I'll do that. We see your page upside down, and if you could put the camera looking over your shoulder. Yeah, that would be awesome, except I have no idea how I would do that, and I think that it would, I'd bump into it. So because I move around and, I walk across the room and everything else while I scrapbook. So, yeah, so I think it's just a matter of I didn't remember to put it right side up. And she said, I'll say a prayer for your son. Thank you. We need all that we can get. That 7th grade is going to be much smoother. I hope so. Okay, so thanks for the comment. Amaya Goni. Believe it or not, I talk back to you, then laugh and ask myself, what are you doing, silly? She can't hear you. I know that feeling. I do the same thing with podcasts. I love watching your scrapbooking process. Thank you. Carrie Eric, who is over at, she's on the creative team at Get It Scrapped with me, and we've been talking about collaborating on a project. I don't know if she wants to keep it a secret or not, but we're talking about creating our own class. Mainly because we asked Debbie Hodge if she would do it, and she said no. So we were like, but that would be a really good class. I should probably run it by, I don't know. We should probably work on it a little first. But we have a project that we're working on together, but we haven't started yet. But I'm just distracted by my old age. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Carrie says, and Carrie's icon, it has a cat on top of her head. That's kind of funny. Anyways, Carrie, yes, I talked back to you, and I know you can't hear me. I was totally frustrated while working on a page, so I decided to put on a video. Good, and that's what I want. That's my goal in these videos, is I want you to feel like you can keep going in your, so when you find time, because it's hard, right, to find time in your schedule where you're making time for yourself and doing that self-care that we should do. And create, a creative outlet is a really good way to do that. And blah, blah, blah. We could have fun, create memories, and record everything. But when you finally get to this table and you're like, I don't even know what to do. That's when I hope that, if you find my videos helpful, you just flick on a video and you go, well, look at her page, it's not that great. I can certainly do something myself. And I think that sometimes when we're watching some of the videos that are sped up, and I'm not criticizing them because I watch them, I like them, but I don't always like them. I sort of like them. It depends on how they're done. If they're completely sped up and there's music, then I have to watch it. I don't want to just watch it. I want to more listen to it. So I like to hear about the process of what somebody's doing and then be able to glance up. I don't want to have to watch the whole time. So I think the visual image of the video is less important to me than the audio. And yeah, back on my son's issues, he's got some auditory disabilities, which he can hear perfectly, but he can't listen. It's hard. It's it is a, what do they call it? I'm just looking at the time. Yeah, he has a learning impairment in that if somebody's just talking to him, he can't listen. And so we've been learning about that. But I've been learning about myself, conversely, I really learn when I'm just listening. So I really love to listen to podcasts, and I like that more than watching. So I think he might be a visual learner, and I might be an auditory learner. Maybe. We'll see. But I like listening, and I like to have my mind wandering while I'm listening. I just like that. I like when I'm creating, I like to just hear people talking about being creative. It helps me to just keep it snappy. Let's see. So Carrie said, I was totally frustrated when working on a page, so I decided to put on a video. Your virtual crop made it easier to get to a happy place with a happy page. Yay! Thank you for sharing your process. And that's the other thing is, like, I would love to go down and spend the days cropping with the girls at the store because I'm lucky enough to have one, but I really, like, even though I like to make a lot of time for myself and my hobby, I just can't get over that, like, I'm going to go spend the whole weekend. Like, it just seems like too much time, and my kids are at a stage where I don't have to be, like, you know, watching them all the time, like if you have little kids, but it's nice to be there and be around. So I like to be around the house, and so having, like, something like this where you can do a virtual crop, and at Get It Scrapped, they do virtual crops, usually about once a month, and I like to listen in on those. I don't usually participate because I like to be, well, number one, technical problems, but also I just like to listen, and sometimes I'll put my camera on, but then I run into the technical problems. But I like to listen to the ladies talk while I'm scrapbooking, and that's what you get in a real life crop. But it's nice if you can do that virtually if you don't have access to a store, or, you know, the times that you're going to use for scrapbooking, like, you don't really want to spend a whole Saturday at a crop. So that was my thought on why, like, what I would like that, and I would like more of that. Also, boys are difficult. Girls are too. We're all difficult. And I have terrible growing pain. Oh, and have terrible growing pains during puberty. Okay. I'm with you on working to identify the problems. It's not easy to stress. It's not easy not stress. Not to stress or worry when you can't even articulate the root of the problem. Yeah. Or admit the problem to yourself. Like, oh, maybe I do eat too much ice cream. Yeah. Okay. Then, so thanks for the comment, Carrie. The next one is M. Barone says, I had to check put your boards on Pinterest. I haven't read these comments beforehand, so, yeah, and just some of them I'm stumbling over. I had to check put your boards on Pinterest after watching this video. They're awesome. I'm a follower now. Thank you. And so I was really a really awesome pinner, or I thought I was, like maybe 6 months ago, and I've been pinning for maybe a year or so, and a couple years, I would say. And so I had like 22,000 pins, and basically I would just, you know, be on the stepper, which I need to get on more of, and I'd just be scrolling through my iPhone, you know, pinning away, and it was all good and lovely and fun. And I had really awesome organized Pinterest boards, and then Big Picture Classes asked me to teach a class about Pinterest and how to use it and organize your boards, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And so, because I really admire everybody over there, but and so just about that same time, after I had agreed to do the class, my husband says, well, guess what? I think there's copyright problems with Pinterest, and I don't want you to be pinning anything that you don't own. And I was like, but how am I going to do this class? And how am I going to, and also I love Pinterest. And so I try not to pin anything that I don't own or that I'm not associated with. So I'll pin things now that are associated with Get It Scrapped or Big Picture Classes, or like other people that I kind of know through the internet that I don't think are going to sue me over copyright. But I don't pin what I used to pin anything and everything and not look at the source. And I think that if you're pinning just for your own personal purposes, you're probably going to be okay. But I think that we may see that businesses who are pinning on, or people that are making money, and that's not the criteria. If you're using a copyrighted image and you're not allowed to, somebody can get you for that anyways. And I took an intellectual property class in law school, but I'm not up on it. So I'm not the the authority on that, but I do know that you should be careful. And the more, like, if you're a business and you're pinning things that aren't, you don't have the copyright to, I would be more careful about that than if you're just an individual scrapbooker. So if you're just, doing your scrapbooking things, pinning other scrapbooking pages, you're probably going to be okay. But be careful out there. And I guess my point to that was, thank you. I'm glad you like my pin boards, but they used to be way better. So I'm kind of, I want to say something that my husband always says, but I won't. He says, I lost my enthusiasm. He says a different word that starts with a W and was a character in the movie about the toys. So I lost my enthusiasm I kind of did when I couldn't just pin anything I wanted to. And yeah, I'm not as excited about Pinterest as I once was. Now I'm all about Instagram, and I've been watching the Instagram feed right now. If you put in hashtag NSS 2014, it is the National Stationery Show. And we're not getting a CHA this summer, so the National Stationery Show. And I think there's some other thing that's going to happen in Atlanta, but this one is in New York City. And so I don't know, there might be another kind of trade show coming that we can look at. But for right now, NSS 2014, that's the hashtag, and that's a pretty good substitute. And it's just a lot of stationery, and it's fun to look at. And so, can you see all that? I hope I'm not violating any copyrights by doing that. I don't think I am. But it's, they're not your scrapbooking. There are actually Fancy Pants, My Mind's Eye, Teresa Collins, and like Hazel and Ruby. And so there's some scrapbooking manufacturers that are at that trade show, but most of the people there are card makers or invitation makers, and but I think it's interesting to watch the colors and the images, like the motifs, like the icons that they're using. And I haven't been able to identify any trends yet, except gold is still really in. There's gold everywhere. But yeah, I want to look a little bit more at that. I also see a trend of snarkiness, and funny snarky, but that may just be part of the stationery genre. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But you can look at that. And you can still find me on Pinterest. I'm still there. But I would recommend follow Debbie Hodge. She pins a lot, and she's got her boards very organized. Yeah, and the other thing I do like to do on Pinterest is just search for something very specific. So, like, for example, I just made a page about the beach, and I can't show the whole page. I'll show you a little bit. Because it's going to be on Get It Scrapped. But, ta-da! So, I didn't have a title for this, and then I looked on Pinterest for beach quotes, and I saw, like, oh, the beach is our happy place. And so I used happy place as the title for that layout, and just did the hashtag, because, I don't know, I was talking about that the other day, about how we should have more hashtags in our alpha fonts, and American Crafts did it with that one. So yay, yippee. But yeah, my kids are even saying, like, not my daughter, but my son says out loud, like, hashtag, this is boring. And he doesn't use hashtags. Like, he's on the iPhone and stuff, but I don't think he's using them. But it's getting into the vocabulary. There's a TED Talks on that. That's pretty interesting. I don't know which one it's called, but TED Talks are fun if you like to listen to podcasts. Okay, back to the comments. Let me see. I'm still recording, and I've had I've had storage issues with the space on my iPhone and my iPad, because I don't think my husband got a plan that gives us enough storage. But he says we get the fancy danciest iPhone, so who knows? Maybe I just have a lot of pictures. Okay, next comment. is Teddy Honeybee says, Katie, I bet you listened to Paper Clipping 109 or 199 podcast with Stacy J and Jennifer Wilson. Yes, I'm sure that I did because I listened to every single Paper Clipping. I love it. So Paper Clipping is a podcast that's put on by Noelle Hyman and her husband, Izzy Hyman, and they talk about scrapbooking, and it's fun. It's really, I love it. I love it. And the Daily Digi podcast, which was a podcast about digital scrapbooking, recently ended, and that's kind of sad. And Debbie Hodge she's got 2 podcasts. One is called, and she hasn't been doing them lately, but she'll do them sporadically. There's a $10 word, huh? Where are we? Here we go. Dun, dun. Well, I started listening to one this morning. I've been trying to find new ones, and there's one called One Bad Mother that seems kind of funny, but it was almost too negative for me. Not that I'm not all about like getting together with your girlfriends and like, oh, my kids are driving me crazy. But when I listen to a podcast, I don't want to hear that. I'd rather listen to, I'll show you what podcast I listen to. So I listen to, this is very uplifting. She is a goat farmer, and she makes goat milk soaps. What is it called? The Busy Mom Survival Guide. So she homeschools her kids too. And then this one, This Memory Keeper's Life and Give Your Photos Stories are the 2 that Debbie Hodge does. And this one is like an interview with a scrapbooker. And then this one is, she'll take a theme like dogs, and then the guests on the show have pictures of their dogs, and then they tell the stories. And then by that, you'll start to think of stories that you have about dogs. I love that concept. I listen to The Accidental Creative with Todd Henry, the TED Radio Hour, The Moth, that's another story one. And I also listen to the New York Times Fiction, but I don't have it on here because I think it only comes out once a month, and then I'll listen to a couple and then I'm good for the rest of the year, so I listen to it about every 6 months. And then so there's 2 different TED Talks. There's several different TED Talks. And then This American Life is like the number 1 podcast to listen to. But, yeah, I'd love to hear, and then, the, hold on, Paper Clipping Roundtable. And so I do listen to that, and I'm pretty sure I've listened to every single one of them. And I have on my blog, my blog is called Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. I did, do you have enough light on me? I did, like these are all of the episodes, and here's what they're about, because they're not always titled with the topic. Sometimes they have like just weird titles. So number 199 is called Finding a New Rail. And yes, I did listen to that. I didn't take their class though. It's a class about right brain and left brain, and I love the idea of that class, but I think that it's already started, and I missed it the first time. I think I missed it again. Have you listened to Stacy J's podcast called Creative Growth? No, I haven't. And I wonder if that's on iTunes, because I don't think it is. It looks like she's got it at stacyjulian.com/podcasts. And my guess is they're like, well, I haven't listened to them, so I don't know. Called Creative Growth. Huh. So I'm in iTunes, Creative Growth. Cannot connect to the iTunes store. Isn't that lovely? See, I told you I had have issues with my technology. So we're loading. I don't know. I haven't listened to that. I'll have to check it out. It may help you to understand your scrapbooking or creative ebb and flow. Also, when you ask a question, I actually answer you back. And yes, I know you can't hear me, but I'm thinking you might be an auditory learner. Yeah, I think that's where I got the auditory learner thing. So thank you, Teddy Honeybee. Because we did have the whole auditory issue with my son, that he has a deficiency in that. But I think, yes, I think that that's my I know I'm like horribly backlit here, but then I have this light here. I just feel like now you can see all of my wrinkles. Yeah, it's just life, right? But yeah, I think I am an auditory learner. And I never thought that because, I don't know. I never thought about that before. So I've been thinking about that. So thank you. And then she's got, she's got a link is called studyingstyle.com and then / auditory learners. I'll have to check that out for real. That's why it helps you to talk while you create. Okay, that makes sense. Or maybe I just like to hear myself talk. I always used to get in trouble for talking in class, even in college. I tried to explain what I was. That's funny. My sister, I'm going to turn this light off. It's just too much. I don't know what to do, though. It seems like the light has changed. Hold on. I'm going to just put on some different lights. Let's try. I'm still really backlit. Well, are we good? That's a little better. Not so much. Yeah, I think that is why. Let me see if I can eliminate the backlight. Or a little. I think that helped a little. Thank you for bearing with me because I am very technically challenged. Or I just don't spend a lot of time worrying about it. Sorry. Oh, okay. Next comment is Tracy Zook says, this was on the Inspired by Doris Sander video. It says, LOL, that's really a good way to put it. They will help you to want new things. I think I was talking about the online scrapbooking stores. And yes, their videos will help you to want more things, to help you buy more things. That's their purpose. Also, a problem with watching process videos from everyone doing the kit clubs. Yeah, I think so too. Because I kept wanting, I was watching a couple of people who were doing the scrapbook process videos using a kit. And I kept thinking like, well, I want the kit. And then stuff. Like and then I like to get, I have a local store, so I get to, I can go down there and get new things. So I want to support my local store, and I like going and seeing the stuff and picking it out myself. Because sometimes it's fun to just spend a few hours doing that. Like, that's an event. And if I did a kit club, I wouldn't get to do that. And my husband's really against anything that has a monthly fee. But yeah, I think like for around Christmas, I was really debating whether I should join a kit club. And I think I'm good with not. I mean, I would love to be one of those people who made the videos for the kit clubs. If they would send me the kits for free, like I would be totally down with that. But yeah, that's not a very good advertisement for kit clubs, though, is it? It's really not. But I would enjoy doing them. Okay, and then she says, nice that you use an eclectic mix of stash so that if we want to scrap lift, we can just go to our stash instead of the store. Yeah. Yeah, I've really, I went to my local scrapbook store recently on National Scrapbooking Day, and I did buy some things, but like what I usually do is I'll walk around the store and then, see where everything is and what everything is. And then I do another walk around the store to actually put things in my basket. And this time I did 2 walks around the store and I was like, I don't think there's anything I want. But then I was like, I gotta get something. So I got this, which I really like. This is Basil Basics paper. It's called Blue Dot or Travel Triangles. That looks like something I've seen on Instagram or on Pinterest. I really like that a lot. And then I got some papers. And I also got some embellishments, but I'm just going to show you the papers. This is Bow Bunny. I thought that side was really cute with the Bee Masters. Now this is probably my favorite purchase. This is Fancy Pants, and it's called As You Wish, This and That. Isn't that awesome? I love that. It's just black on the back. And what else did I get? But I really could have left and not bought anything. Isn't that sad? Especially in that I've heard that the people that are making pattern paper are really cutting back on what they're doing. So we might not have as much as we used to, but you know what? All that stationery is still going to be there. So I think we'll be okay. We'll be alright. I liked that. I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, but I liked it a lot. That's Heidi Swap. And there's that color of the year. And then this one. I like that a lot. That looked a lot like... I have a Pinterest board called Triangles, and I used to have stuff like this on it, but I don't anymore. But I like that a lot. I like the colors, and I like that the white isn't just white, it's text. That's cool. Oh, I'll just show you one more thing. Hold on. That's the Highline. I did some videos about like trying to mimic the style of Highline when CHA was in January, and then I went and I saw the Highline line, and I didn't buy any of the paper. I did get the stickers. Yeah, I was surprised I didn't get any of it, but I still like it. I shouldn't look at this while I'm making the video, because it's like the facing camera, so it's like I'm looking at myself, and then I'm like, oh, I should have put on more makeup. Okay, let's see. Tracy also says, very cool, love the floppy disk, and that was my retro check page. You are right about not getting more stuff. That won't affect how cute your pages are. Really, with all the tools we have, including the digital, if you've got the silhouette, then you're always going to have access to new stuff. Free printables too. I don't really do that, but I think there's a lot out there in terms of free printables. We can make tons of unique pages without buying more. Yeah. And Tracy also says, thanks for all the comments, Tracy. I feel like I know Tracy. I don't know her in real life, but I've known her for a long time online. For me, the dangerous part of the ebb and flow is that if I'm not making pages, then I'm inclined to forget the huge amount of wonderful stuff I already have and shop for more. I think that happens. Or you just shop because like you want to scrapbook, and then you think if you get new stuff, then you will. I do that. Because shopping can be rationalized as scrapbooking preparation, but really it just makes things worse. Sometimes I think it's inspiring. Also, I was on the paper clipping roundtable. I should know what episode it was, but I don't. And we talked all about shopping for scrapbooking supplies. And hold on, I'll tell you. It's episode 204. It's called Glorious Scrapbooking Skills. Okay, the pile of stuff interferes with the creative process. I guess sometimes. Yeah, I can buy that. I haven't been scrapping enough this month, she says. I was averaging a page a day for the year. Yeah, I was too. And like, I had some, like, yeah, the last 2 years, like, the last couple of years, I don't know, or always, I'm very prolific scrapbooker. So this year, 2014, has probably been my like least prolific year in a while, but I still think I've made probably like 60 pages so far this year, something like that. But that's not as much as normal. Haven't been scrapping it enough this month, was averaging a page a day for the year, and have done 101 pages since going on a buying freeze. Yay, good for you, Tracy. That's cool. Okay, the next one is Chrissy BZ Girl. Chrissy BZ Girl. Yeah. I thought about that. I think about that too. If we make requests for our life to be with God, if we make requests for our life to be with God, oh yeah, I was in, so I got off on a way tangent. This is on number 47, Scrapbook Process Video Retro Tech. And so I think I was talking about, like, I wonder if when you're up in heaven, like before you're born, if you could be like, okay, so I'd really like to be in North America, and I'd like to be born in the 1970s, and, you know, I don't know. I've always had that thought, like, you could put in requests with God before you were born, and then he would, like, fill some of your requests, but not all of them, so I don't know. But I'm real interested in life after death, reincarnation, heaven, spirits, and all that. I don't know if I believe it, but interesting nonetheless. It is interesting. And I think there's so much that we don't know, that it's okay that we don't know, that we're not even supposed, you know, like, I'm not worried that we don't know it. I think that's part of the magic of life. But it's also interesting, too, you know, all the discoveries we make. And then on Easter, or like the week after Easter, I don't know, when my daughter was doing First Communion, or when I had to go to church, I don't know, I've had to go to church a lot lately, and we don't usually, I mean, we're not against church, but my husband doesn't like to go to church, so we just kind of don't go. But anyways, the minister was talking about Doubting Thomas. Okay, so it was like the week after Easter, I think they do that one. And that, like, so Jesus dies and then he rises and blah, blah, blah. And all the apostles were like, oh yeah, that's totally cool. But Doubting Thomas was like, I gotta see that. And the minister said, like, it's not bad to question. Like, God didn't get mad at him. He like, sent Jesus down, and, like, Thomas got to, like, put his hand in the wounds and, like, feel it for himself and get to know it himself. And then he was like, oh, wow, now I really believe you. And then, you know, went out and told everybody. So, yeah, I think it's okay to question and wonder and hypothesize. I think all that is good. Anyways, the rest of it says, I always talk at my screen when I watch you. You ask questions and bring up interesting topics. I hope so. I don't always finish my topics, I know that. I find myself wanting to chat with you. Yay. You also gave me great inspiration for a page with this layout. Thank you. Okay, next up is Laura Parker, and I've seen her in the comments before, so hi, Laura. I have missed you, and have been in a sewing kick rather than scrapbooking for the past month or so. Happy you are back, and I enjoyed listening no matter what the topic. Much love to you. I used to quilt a while ago. I wasn't very good, but I liked all the patterns, which is what really also drew me to scrapbooking. Okay, next up is Ocean Poet, and she says, yet another beautiful video. I love the real-time videos. Cool. I get very frustrated when people speed it up and use text for instructions. I get lost fast keep creating. Yeah, I do too. And so I think what's nice about YouTube and the internet is there's a lot to choose from, so everybody can kind of find what works for them. And I'm glad that I work for some people. I know I'm not for everybody. That's okay. That's okay. The next one is Nini's Mom 2000. You are so cute. Thank you. Oh, big zit on my chin though. And wrinkles and bags but thank you. Or maybe you just think my personality is cute, not my face. That's possible. I love your stories and tips. Don't change anything. Okay. We all know great layouts don't always get done in 20 minutes. 5 stars for you. Hee hee. Thank you. And yeah, I used to be faster, I think, than I am now. And I think it's because I moved my room. And I've actually, this is going to sound nuts, I've been thinking about going back to my old scrapbook room. I'm really trying not to, but the thought has crossed my mind more than once. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The next one is Victoria Buchanan. Says, I enjoy your videos and have accidentally hit the thumbs down before. Well, I'm glad it was an accident. Because I do get people with a thumbs down, and I'm always like, okay. I mean, I guess I would just like to know, like, what you don't like, if you don't, but also know that, you know, this is what it is. It's not fancy. It's not professionally shot or anything like that. So bear that in mind. But yeah, just a random thumbs down. Just, I guess your brain goes to like, oh, somebody out there doesn't like me. Yeah. Not the end of the world, but not awesome either. Okay, Madeline Lundy says, I always enjoy your videos. You make me smile. Thank you. Great idea for a layout. That was also in the Retro Tech. Keep up the good work. Thank you. PPRRHH102. 102. I really enjoyed your video. I have always wondered how to get my scrapbooks onto a site. This was on editing scrapbook layouts. Okay. And it might be interesting at some point to show how you photograph a layout. I do have a video like that. It might be under 2-minute tips. Maybe it might be under a Q&A on how you photograph a layout to get it ready for posting, what kind of lights and background, etc. So I put it on this thing, and that's how I photograph it. I'm not supposed to see that layout until July. Don't tell Debbie Hodge. I think she'll be okay with it. I don't think you can really see it anyways. Anyways, I put it on a hard plastic backing, take a picture of it, and I edit in Picasa, which is not the best editing tool. Like Photoshop is better, or Photoshop Elements is better, but I don't know how to use that. So Picasa is the best one for me. And then I was in on the office hours this morning at Get It Scrapped with Kim Watson, and she said that she uses Picasa and does a lot of work putting information into the metadata, and I would just say, don't count on Picasa. I love it. I use it all the time. I've been using it for years, but I've had it crash before. And before the crash, I had spent a lot of time tagging and putting words in there and blah, 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 blah. And when it crashed, all of that was gone. So I still use Picasa, but I don't spend a lot of time organizing within it. I just, I do the year and then the month, and I'm trying to remember if it was Picasa that crashed. I think it was, because one of my computers crashed and my external hard drive, like everything went, and so I lost like 3 years of photos, except for the ones that I had uploaded to Shutterfly. They're still there. But yeah, I wouldn't spend a lot of time working on metadata within Picasa, unless you have a really good way of backing that up. For real. Really enjoyed your video. I have always wondered how to get my scrapbooks onto a site. What kind of light? I'm a visual learner. I should have a show about what kind of learner you are, or what kind of learners people are, and then how to apply that to scrapbooking. That would be fun. To have to see it better than just hear it. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's why I like the video. Like, I think it would be fun for those podcasts, like, to also be able to see the people, and I don't know, I just think that would be fun. But anyways, I guess that's pretty complicated. Deborah Wilson Kujala says, hi, questions? What type or name brand album are you using? And what pages ordered from? Thanks, Deborah. And that was on my Project Life video, finally getting started. So the album is, that's a Becky Higgins album, I think. It might be We Are Memory. It's either like Project Life, like the Becky Higgins Project Life, or it's a We Are Memory Keepers. And then I also have American Crafts albums, the modern ones. But I've been picking up my albums at Michael's and or at October Afternoon. It's not October afternoon. Tuesday morning, which is a discount store. But I think the one that I showed in that video, I think it's a We Are Memories Keepers. It might be Project Life though. I have no idea. And then I order the Project Life type pages. I order them on Amazon, and I go through my blog because I have an affiliate link there, and I get either get the pack of like 60, which is a variety pack, I think, or I just get the style A. And then I do have a bunch of older pages that are just from a variety, like Sea Line and We Are Memory Keepers and a bunch of different companies. So I have a mishmash of stuff. Okay, next up is Jocks Girl 1. She's a frequent commenter. Thank you. I found a glue stick at Target in the scrapbook supply section. It's Scotch brand and it's restickable. I have used it and it holds well. A day after I applied the picture, I was able to move it. Really? And it continued to hold. Wow, it might be worth a try. Yeah. That's on my list now. Okay, next up is Crazy Cropping Chick. You say you have a problem, but I'm not sure what you're asking. This was on Project Life. You have no journaling, no embellishments, with very little cards. Your album is basically a photo album with pictures. I think you should keep going if you enjoy Project Life. I suppose it's supposed to be fun and relaxing. Can't wait for more videos. Yeah, my Project Life is basically a glorified photo album. That's true. Yes. With a little bit of journaling thrown in and not much embellishment. Yeah, but I like it because I like it that it's one album and it's 1 year and it's in chronological order. I do think that's really cool. And if I was more consistent, I would really like the journaling aspect of it. I always am like, it's like the diet. I should drink more water, I should do more exercising, I should fill out those little cards. But I don't always get all that done. But yeah, I'm not really doing Project Life at all. This year I haven't done it at all. Okay, Jocks Girl also says, yeah, you're back. I don't do Project Life either. It's bad enough that I have every Smash book and hardly open them. Me too. I don't have everyone though. I just have maybe one or two. I have at least 2, maybe 3. But I don't use them. I don't know why. I prefer scrapbooking. I really miss you. Miss you too. I love to see the like your faces in the comments. That's I like that. Thank you. I'm really getting back to scrapbooking with your videos, playing alongside me as I work. Cool. Next up is Bonnie Wilson. So glad to see you're back. I am with you. I do not do Project Life either. It is not for me, as my life is very boring. I doubt it. I am 75 years old now, but I still doubt it. I think your life is probably pretty interesting, and you probably have like a lot of memories, if you have any memory at all. That's some, yeah. But I bet you have a lot of stories to tell. When I was, I'm 75 years old now. When I was young and doing all of the things that I could put into a Project Life book, it did not exist. Huh. Please keep on scrapbooking. You are so good at it. Plus, you are teaching all of us so much. Cool. Yay. But Bonnie, I think you probably have a lot of stories. And it's okay if you tell them after the fact. Because then you can embellish. No, I'm just kidding. You can make up. You can put your own unique twist on the stories. I'm just kidding. I'm sort of kidding because we all know we do that, you know. Yeah. There's a quote that I heard recently, like, it's not what actually happened, it's your perception of it. Something like that. I don't remember what the quote was. Okay, next up is, I'm not saying make up your scrapbooking stories. I'm not saying that. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. But sometimes you want to just kind of craft a story a little bit. Like, think about Zig Ziglar and a lot of what he did with like he'd make cassette tapes and people would listen to them and learn how to do sales. Well, what he would do is take stories from his real life. So he'd tell a story about his wife. He'd say like, oh, my wife wants a new house, and I told her I could have X amount of dollars. But then she found a house that was like X plus something amount of dollars. So she didn't have to sell me on the X, she had to sell me on the extra. And I think that probably his stories have a basis in truth, but I betcha he crafted them and tweaked them and maybe embellished a little or, took some liberties to make the story more of a learning story. And so I think when you're 75 years old and you have a whole lifetime of experiences, you can probably take some of those stories from your life and then kind of like put your little spin on. No, don't make them not true, but craft them in a way that, the people reading them might learn some lessons, and that's a way you can teach lessons without saying like, now let me tell you what to do. You can instead tell somebody a story, and that's a good way, like, to get them to know what you want them to know without being bossy. Okay, Asian Tiger says, I am totally scraplifting that idea for your bins bit. Okay, she's talking about my little muffin tin that I've got in here. Do you have this? I think this is what she's talking about. Ta-da! It's right in the desk drawer. That makes it feel less overwhelming. Yeah. I also did a thing where I have like different containers with like different types of embellishments. So like dimensional embellishments, flat embellishments, ribbons, blah, blah, blah. And I had those in those clear shoe boxes. And then I would say to myself, like, if I'm finishing up a page and it feels like it's not very embellished, like, use 2 or 3 of those boxes. I had, like, 10 of those boxes. And that was in my old scrapbooking space. I need to get that up here. But I don't have the space for it. I have to figure that out. Or figure out a good substitute for that system. Because it was working really well. I could probably put them... See those up there? Hold on. See those little bins? Those bins are empty. So that's a place where I could do that. I just don't want to do, I want it to be cute up there, so I can't do those clear. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be cute. So the clear boxes. So maybe I'll do it that way. Or maybe I'll just have it not be cute for a little while. That could be not the end of the world. Okay. And then I think I am good. I think I'm caught up on my, maybe not. But you know what? I think I'm done anyways. But thank you. It's been fun to catch up. And yeah, I see some other comments here. I can't really tell where I left off the last time. But I do these Q&A shows from time to time. So if you have any questions or you have any comments, please leave them. And it doesn't matter which video you leave them on. So even if you leave them on an older video, it will still come up when I check my comments. I've just been real lazy about responding lately, so sorry. I've been lazy about a lot of things, though. I haven't been lazy, I've just been doing other things. You want to see what I've been up to? If you want to see what I've been up to, look at my Instagram. I'm all about Instagram lately. I love the immediate feedback. Like you can put something up and then like 20 people think that's cute. It's so fun. Okay, so this is my Instagram feed. So that's that National Stationery Show, right? And then we've got the same. But then yesterday, that's us on the boat. And I made a scrapbook page. And there's my in-laws on their dock. And there we are with our new boat. We get a little boat. Made a campfire. And that's a s'more. Can you see that? There's a beautiful sunset. So, like, we've not been, doing nothing. Got a new stereo on the boat that hooks up to the iPhone, which is pretty cool. This is a tube. And there's sharks in our bay, and my kids fell in. I was the lifeguard. But there they are after they fell in, and they did okay, and sharks didn't eat them. which was great. That would have been bad. I found these out on my patio. I think a bird had some kind of a crab dinner and left the claws. This is in my in-laws' backyard. That's their swing. And my father-in-law is 93 years old, and he's got Alzheimer's. Well, we think he does. He's never been like officially diagnosed, but he pretty much has it. And so he was pretty sure he was going to take this whole contraption down. And so my husband got up there because my kids were finally getting along and they were on the swing. And then 5 minutes later, my father-in-law is out there with like a lot of tools. And I've been trying to think of different ways to entertain him. So I got out the watercolors and we did some painting together. And while we were painting together, I just sketched that of him. And then he was looking down, so he wasn't like as sad as he looks in that picture. But my mother-in-law liked it so well that she asked if she could have that, and she put it up on her mantle. There's one of my mantles that needs to be organized. And that was the painting I did. That's me and my dog, Jessie. And there's us in the boat. I did that with watercolors. There's my messy dishes and my dog. And watching Saturday Night Live. Andy Samberg is my favorite. There's where I actually went out with my girlfriends. That's when we saw Chelsea Handler. She had some, like, okay, can I just tell you? I like Chelsea Handler. Like, I have that E! channel on in my, I have a TV in my bathroom, so if I'm putting on my makeup or whatever, I'll have the E! channel on, so I watch garbage like the Kardashians and whatever else is on the E! channel. So sometimes I'll watch that Chelsea Lately, and she's funny, right? Well, there were some photos in her live show that I was like, like, oh, okay, like, I'm not a prude, but I don't want to see that. So prepare to see naked people if you go to her show. I was not expecting that. There's Henry the Heron. There's my son after his field trip. Legos, which don't get nearly enough play anymore. And then him after the field trip. That's my daughter's eyeball. Look at it. She has the bluest eyes. I always wanted blue eyes. That's, I think, what I was saying, like, about the making requests up in heaven. So I asked for blue eyes, but I didn't get them. But my daughter did. So that's pretty cool. I got my hair done. That's one of our old houses in Calais, Maine. That's grandfather about 10 years ago with my son. And there he is. That's about 10 years ago, too. And so is this, when my babies were babies. Okay, and there's my baby again. So see, we've been up to stuff. We've been busy. I've still been doing a little bit of scrapbooking, but not a ton. I got some pretty earrings for. Isn't that funny? I'm making a video of. Okay, all right. I'm done. I'm good. The nice thing about videos is that I feel like I can ramble on, and if you're bored, you can just hit the off button or go look at a different video. Whereas I don't really bore. I really in real life I would never go on and on like this, because I always try to make sure I'm not talking too long so people don't get bored. But the videos give me the opportunity to ramble because you can only, you only have to watch so long as you're interested. Okay, that's all. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.